aggressors is one part of the game, but having fights breaking down all of the time and basically preventing the game from being played, which is as far as it can get sometimes, can be a little bit too far. So it's a matter of like balancing out between one and the other, right? And so yeah, I don't think getting rid of the aggression in hockey is a good idea, just the same way I don't think getting rid of the aggression in rugby
can be done in
thing.
gameplay. Can be done in gameplay, not in
yes and no. It is the part of the gameplay is like checking. Part of the gameplay, but cross-checking is not. You're not supposed to be doing, right?
But I'm talking about basically.
You're talking about fights.
And yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. That is a different form. So yes.
I think that fights are part of the game. I think having them breaking out again, like I said, there's a difference between a fight breaking out in a game, which you generally do not want. But or having a game where there is a fight every time the whistle blows, a fight breaks out. And I've watched games like that, and sometimes those are incredibly entertaining and very, very like fun to watch, and other times it just slogs the game down, and that's no good, right?
Yeah.
But you don't.
Yeah.
No. So it's a balancing act, right? And like I don't know, I think that if you were to get rid of fighting in hockey, I think people would get over it eventually, but I think it's a cultural thing that I don't think the Canadians would want to get rid of anytime soon. It's one of the ways we get our aggression out of our systems too. Just like a whole other thing. Like lacrosse is equally as aggressive. It'd be like taking the fighting out of, or taking the aggression out of like rugby. It's like the game's not even the same anymore. Oh wait, I got another button to press. Ooh, play.
Oh, look at that!
I did it! Yay! So a little slow on the uptake. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Debate Hub. Hi. Hello.
Hi.
We were talking about hockey.
Hello.
I like hockey. I haven't watched hockey in a long time. I'm thinking about following the NHL this year.
It is fun to watch really well played hockey.
I think that the NHL kind of sucks in general, but that's a conversation for another day. It's a little bit too corporate.
That's because the United States has essentially bought up all the players and Canadian teams.
Yeah. I really wouldn't hate opening it up to more more teams from around the world instead of just Canada.
Sweden has got some great stuff there, or Finland.
Well, players like Russian players from Sweden, players from around the world come to play in the NHL. So I just don't see why we wouldn't open that up to let people to let those countries have their own teams.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely make the Olympics more interesting.
In the big island of Hawaii, too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Not an NHL team, but they play it in...
Madam Pele.
It's fun. So, hello, folks. We're here to talk about volcanoes.
Yeah.
I did that.
Shall we?
Yeah. Let's go.
Well,
I do that.
As those that follow this planet has lots of volcanoes and lots of them erupting. This is a map showing the is showing it's an ad. Is showing the various erupting volcanoes. Actually, this time Mount Etna is in unrest and not erupting. Usually, Etna and Stromboli are always erupting. Nothing going on in Iceland, although there are some things near erupting. And of course, we have the usual one in Ethiopia where the Africa continent is being torn apart. Ocean, Para, DR Congo, and La Reunion. Indonesia right now has 7 erupting volcanoes. Of course, there's the one always sort of erupting in central Mexico, 2 in Guatemala, 1 in Nicaragua. We have our Colombia and Ecuador and Peru, and the ones that are on the pair that are on the Chile and Argentine border that are erupting. Of course, the Silent Islands has been erupting for a while now, and of course, Erebus is one of those that are always erupting. Kilauea at this time was said to be is erupting. I would agree with that. We've got Para in Papua New Guinea, some stuff in the Sandwich Islands, Vanuatu, Tonga. Actually, Vanuatu has 2 now going on. So there are lots of stuff. So in Russia, we have 6 that are on the Kamchatka Peninsula. Japan has only 2 now. It had 4, and of course, so lots of volcanoes. We're in a really very wiggly wobbly stuff. So right now, the eruption is paused because we're in this episodic eruption thing. We're waiting for episode 44. And we're expecting, the models expect that this might occur towards the end of March, somewhere between the end of March and mid-April. I'll explain more about the uncertainty and the evolution. I would say that one of the things that we talk about here is earthquakes, and this is essentially a showing. Here's the big eye, and here is Mauna Loa, the big mountain. Hualalai, there's Mauna Kea where the observatories are, and Kilauea is here. And of course, there's lots of earthquakes in the Kilauea region, but most of them are in this deeper southwest region of stuff. We do have the seamount that's in the process of becoming an island, but that sort of shows you essentially the 1,300 earthquakes with magnitude 1 or greater at depths around 20 kilometers. These are the deep quakes. We can see definitely that the hotspot is feeding it. Now, one of the things we've talked about is the fact that I wanted to review sort of where we were at with these episodes. How prior to this episodic stuff starting in December 2020, September 2024, we had a collapse of this summit in 2018 when there was a rift in this part of the island that opened up, and the magma poured out in great quantities. The summit up here at the top collapsed, and it wasn't until December 2020 we started having earthquakes and started having eruptions. So we had an eruption, classic eruption, in December 2020, and in September 2021. We had 3 short ones in 2023, and then in 2024, and I'll let me zoom in here a little bit so I can point out more stuff. So here again is Kilauea. Then we had in June 2023, in the South Rift Zone over here, we had a short eruption. And then we had over in the Nepal crater over here, in this spot, we had a week-long eruption. So we had collapse and some short ones. We had a rift. But then in December 2023, Christmas Eve of 2024, we started having these episodic things where the thing with pressure build up. You get a fountain, and a very high fountain that would last for maybe about 12 hours, followed by about 2 weeks worth of quiet. Then the summit would inflate, increasing pressure from our magma chamber until it reached the critical threshold, and fountains again. Now, in the setting, and let me go and go to look at I want to go and look at a map here. So here's the summit here, showing the inset, and the ground in this area would fluctuate about a centimeter up and down between episodes. But the general direction of these fountains, these episodes, has been longer periods of time between episodes, shorter times of fountaining, and fountains getting taller. Now, there may be discussing with people at HVO about the Hawaii Volcanic Observatory about what might be causing these episodes. And it's very likely due to some plumbing situation, magma plumbing situation down below. So one model is we have a sort of a magma sill a few hundred meters below ground under the vents, would be under this right here, and that there's a larger magma chamber about 1 kilometer down that's sort of to the south, and that the larger magma chamber applies pressure and to the magma sill. That then is the thing that's actually another model that's the thing that then inflates and deflates and causes the eruptions. Another model is that since this 2020 we've put about 400, actually no, about 300 meters, which would be about maybe 1,000 feet-ish or so of rock between the vent and the top. So we've added a lot of rock to it, and that this extra distance makes it harder for the magma to get to the top and erupt. And they start off, and we've had a bunch of earthquakes, but we don't know whether the earthquakes are the result of fountains or the earthquakes are result of are actually causing the fountain. We don't know which is the egg.
Eruptions,
right? Yes, because it's possible that the earthquakes are the result of fountains, or the earthquakes are rock shift which causes fountains. Does that make sense? We've had lots of microquakes, in this episodic thing. Lots and lots of small quakes. Unlike, for example, we had a magnitude 6.9 in 2018, which is part of the collapse stuff. So it's lots of little quakes, and we don't know whether the quakes are the result of fountains or causing fountains. Now, the supply rate, we've got magma from the hotspot deep down. That is going back to the map here. We've got a hotspot that's deep down here, that's coming up, and the long-term history. We have a long-term history of supply from down the mantle, and the average rate that is upwelling is about 3 cubic meters per second. So we've got about 3 cubic meters per second coming from the hotspot up through the mantle towards the mountain. The overall rate for these episodes, if you average, because obviously it's a lot when the fountain goes, but when you average over the episodes, is about 6 to 6.5 cubic meters per second. So the rate that's coming out, the eruption, it's about twice the rate that's coming out deep from the mantle. And that's an important thing. Now, we know about that there's a shallow magma chamber about 1 kilometer down that is this shallow upper magma chamber is slowly inflating, slowly getting bigger. There's a deeper magma chamber about 6 to 7 kilometers down, and that's sort of to the south, sort of in this area here, and that chamber is depressurizing, and we see the ground effects of that depressurization when you zoom in here, or you go to the so when you see the deeper magma chamber 6 or 7 kilometers down is down here, and we see the ground deflating. So we've got a deeper magma chamber that's deflating, and upper magma chamber that's inflating. And so the fountains may be in effect that the upper magma chamber is depressurizing deeper magma chamber. So the deeper magma chamber is relieving pressure by pushing it up to the shallow one that's about 1 kilometer deep. It's got a deeper one that's depressurizing, pushing material into the upper one, which is fountaining. Now we what we see. We see something from this. First of all, this episodic process is likely to not be sustainable, right? The lower magma chamber is depressurizing, and this upper magma chamber is only slowly pressurizing. Indicators suggest that probably within about 3 to 4 months, maybe June, July, we will reach the conditions where this episode started. Now, that doesn't mean that the episode stopped, but we're approaching. Go ahead.
So is it like that the deeper chamber, it's like it's kind of supplies the magma, and the shallow chamber acts like a valve or some sort of
Yes,
valve.
that's a very good possibility. The deeper one is, of course, being fed by the upwelling from the mantle of the hotspot, right? So the hotspot's supplying about 3 or so cubic meters per second, and what's coming to the top is about 6 to 6.5 cubic meters per second, where the deeper, larger magma chamber, about 6 to 7 kilometers down, is depressurizing, and the upper one is pressurizing.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So when we remember, these episodes started on Christmas Eve 2024, and the indicators suggest that we'll reach the state somewhere in June, July that this system started. Now, what might this mean when we reach back to that equilibrium? It's possible that this will result. It's possible. I'm not saying for certain. It's possible that when we reach that equilibrium, that these episodes will kind of stop or slow down until the magma finds another weak point and moves on. Remember, it had two in 2024. It had a southwest rift eruption and a east rift Nepal crater eruption. So it has weak spots it can move down to. So I wanted to mention also a few notes. The shallow magma chamber likely, and this speaks to what you were saying, Maanyaa, we think the shallow magma chamber likely has a foam top. It's not complete magma, it's foam. What's that foam consist of? Sulfur dioxide and carbon dioxide. Now, as the magma moves towards the surface, the pressure drops, and things that are pressurized to liquid form become gas, they boil. And we know that the sulfur dioxide comes out of solution about 1 kilometer down in that's definitely in that shallow magma chamber depth area. This carbon dioxide comes from deeper down. And so what maybe is that this magma uplift from the deeper magma chamber is simply having this foam cushion on top, and we see the pressurization, depressurizing that's causing these fountains to occur. The inflation and fluctuations from what to do is we see also the inflation. So one of Jess's favorite graphs is the tilt meter. So here is the blue line tilt meter at Holy Mountain.
It's my only favorite flavor of graph. Any other graph could, unless it's like maybe a pie chart. Pie charts are pretty cool.
Yeah, and so this is, and we see that this was the case of episode 43, where the fountain started and the fountain dropped before it began to pressurize again.
Does a pie chart not count as a graph?
It's a form of graphics. It's a graphic. The graphic showing data.
Graph.
Yeah.
I will die.
So here is
a graph.
Here is episode 43. Here's episode 42, and
one in the chat, or 2 in the chat for graph or not a graph.
Pie charts.
Yeah. If a pie chart counts as a graph or not. 1 in the chat if you think it counts as a graph. 2 in the chat if you think it's not a graph.
I think yes. I think it's definitely a 1. So
what's the difference between a chart and a graph? Sorry, go ahead.
So a chart can include tables. Maps are charts. They're a representation of the area. A nautical chart is a map, right? So anyway, back to the tilt meters. So we see now that we instead of having a sort of a straight pressurization, we have this sort of wobble, these inflation fluctuations. And we used to see these here back. We used to see that the inflation and fluctuations would really only occur towards the end of the inflation period, pre-episode. And we thought that what's going on here was, and you'll see this, is that the vents will start to get little bloops out, little overflows, and we think that was caused by the overflows coming up here. But now we see the inflation fluctuations going throughout the cycle, right? These fluctuations are going on throughout the cycle, and so they're actually becoming more DI-like in sort of these dips. Final thing I want to mention in terms of stuff here is that this crust that's built up, right, this almost 300 meters thick, more than 300 meters thick, almost 1,000 feet thick of crust. The Howdy Mountain has a really thick crust on top, but below that crust is a bunch of denser material that's been outgassed rock, right? Remember, these fountains are this stuff boiling out, and so the result from the fountains coming over and filling this crater has been this denser, sort of mushy quasi-liquid, and we think that is also squeezing the tubes that are coming out from the magma chamber. So the magma chambers, remember, we got a 67-kilometer deep magma chamber is bigger, that's deflating, and appears to be pushing material faster up than it's receiving from below, to a 1-kilometer magma chamber that might have a foam on top, that has a foam cushion, but that 1-kilometer magma chamber coming up through this rock, you have to have this sort of squishy top of material that's making it harder for the magma to get to the surface. Any other questions before we go on? I know that's a lot of information, but I wanted to give people sort of a overview of what's been happening and perhaps some explanations as to what might be going on and what might be going on in the future. Any questions so far?
So you were talking about the gassing and degassing, right? So I don't know if Volcano is like a closed system or an open system, right? Because is the pressure driving the gassing, degassing, or is it the other way around?
Well, that's actually being debated as to whether or not you can call this current system. Let's talk about the system from the lower to the upper as being an open or closed system.
Oh, I can tell that Landon is like making he's moved away from the camera so we could see him while he's gesturing, but he didn't come back, so we can't see him while he's gesturing.
Okay. Let me go back.
I literally heard that happen.
Let's see. All right. Let's toggle off screen sharing. I'm sorry. We don't know whether it's open or closed. That's being debated. During the 35.5-year eruption between 1983 and 2018, for a number of those years, it started around 2010, 2018. There was a lava lake and a fairly large hole down to the magma chamber. The magma chamber is about 1 kilometer-ish or more down. And that was considered to be an open system because the vent was really too large for pressure to build up and for the lava to fountain. This system seems to be more closed, but part of that is a function that the squishy rock just below the holy magma crust may be squeezing the vent, making it able to build up more pressure, and you've got this potential foam on the top of the upper magma chamber, which is also creating kind of like this bellows that's complicated. So it's debated. So it would have sulfur dioxide and carbon dioxide. Sulfur dioxide is degassing, coming out of solution around the depth of that magma chamber at around 1 kilometer. Carbon dioxide is going to come deeper down. Closer to, down in from there. So both. Does that make sense, Maanyaa?
Yeah, it does. Yeah, gotcha.
Any other questions before we go back to the graphs and so forth? I want to give you a sort of general overview. And again, I would say that given the fact that there's less material coming into the lower magma chamber than it's coming out, about the average outflow over time is about twice as much as coming in. And that the lower magma chamber is deflating, and we see the ground resulting to the south. We see the ground deflating as a result of that. This seems like this process isn't going to sustain itself, but when it reaches the equilibrium that started it, will it just continue to fountain? Will it stop? Will the magma try to find another weak point? I'm not sure we know. Go ahead.
So just confirming one more thing. So if there are bubbles at the top of the magma, sorry, because it's not coming.
Yeah, the upper magma chamber,
So
it's about a kilometer down.
There are bubbles at the top. So is it like, if there are more bubbles, is it more likely to fountain or not? Am I wrong?
Well, probably that if material is coming from the lower magma chamber that's deflating, so it's pushing it up, that acts as basically like a bladder on the top that compresses, and so it allows the upper magma chamber to fill with more magma without it having to expand. Right? It doesn't immediately reach the top because you've got this foam on top, which can absorb the extra magma coming into the chamber. It's not instantaneous. It's not, you get a surge from top and immediately comes out. Because the question is, what's happening between episodes? So
it's like a valve that at certain pressure, it will go off. And then it will start, like, depending on how much pressure is behind that valve will determine how high the fountain will go. Is that what it is?
Exactly. And so when the fountain finishes, the upper magma chamber pressure is dropped, and we see it because it deflates, and then it takes a while for particularly for the sulfur dioxide to start boiling again, and build up that foam. Meanwhile, material from the lower magma chamber starts coming up because now the upper magma chamber has lost pressure, and it's able to push against that foam and not instantaneously erupt. It's not continuously erupting because that foam acts, you say, as a sort of pressure valve.
Gotcha.
What do you think?
Gotcha.
I have a question.
All right. Sure.
Are there any volcanologists that would be interested in coming onto a stream to debate whether or not a volcano is an open or a closed system?
I could ask.
I would love it if you could ask.
And I don't know. One of the problems I would say is that you'd find that they don't take a side. They see evidence of both, and they can't make up their mind.
I think. Wait, listen. They don't have to be fully committed one way or another. If one wants to argue for one and the other, doesn't mean they have to personally be committed. Yeah. It's just for the sake of educating everybody and make the best case. I also would not be opposed to Landon maybe hosting that with me if he's interested.
Yeah. So the hole on top that was there towards the end of the 35.5-year eruption, where we had this nice hole in the was in the drain hole of the caldera. That was Halimau. It was a nice circular hole, and you could see the depth of the lava was you could look down the hole, and it would vary from like 100 meters, 200 meters down to near the surface. And a couple of times it boiled over, but mostly that hole seemed to be too large for pressure to build up, and so it never got. Also remember the 35.5-year long eruption was where the magma chamber was heading out the east-west zone, out Pu'o, or eventually towards the end of the thing. Basically, it was draining downwards, right? So it had no ability to get enough pressure to go out the top. When we had about a cubic kilometer of magma surge to the edge of the island on the very east zone and come out, the summit couldn't sustain itself and collapsed and created this pit that was over 300 meters deep, probably closer to even about 400 meters. That began to fill in 2020 And now we're back to this episodic thing of stuff. We think the below the holy magma crust is dense. Why dense? Because it's outgassed, result of outgassed lava. That's semi-liquid and squishes on that tube, making it more like a closed system than an open system. But that's not for certain. So, shall we go back to the graphs and see what's happening? I appreciate the fact that people really pay attention to what I thought you would appreciate this larger sort of overview of what the heck is going on. In the past 3 months, we see deflation, inflation things. I'll also mention, by the way, in terms of the GPS distance, this is the distance across the caldera. There's been a very slow inflation, again about on over a centimeter per episode, coming up, and all this noise is basically the up and down of the fountains. And these were these. This is this 2021 eruption I talked about, the 2023. 2021, 2023, 24 eruptions, and then beginning of this episodic thing. So, and notice that the distance here, notice that this graph is getting about, this is where the episode started at here. And this is about level with this. So all the indicators suggesting we're progressing towards a state that's caused this episodic stuff to begin. And we don't know if that's going to end up stopping when it reaches that state, or continuing for a bit, or the magma finds another weak point and goes out someplace else. For the past week, we've had our usual shallow quakes around underneath, particularly, but again, small quakes, and small quakes deeper down, the 30 kilometers down. This is much deeper than that second lower magma chamber. This is the part of the upwelling from the mantle, the hotspot. And in terms of quakes, the average quake, it's varied between episodes here, but it's been humming along. For the past month as well, we see a lot of quakes to the south. This is part of the extra weight that's being added up here at the summit. Here's the volcanic summit. Pushing the island towards the ocean, and these are these deeper upwelling from the hotspot. I'll mention as well that in here we still have two vents that are filling up this area. Again, you look at the stuff that's about 2 kilometers across. It's slowly adding to material on each of these flows. In terms of fountains, we had 2 fountains since the last time. Fountains were about 400 meters tall.
Can you zoom that in a little bit for us?
There we go.
Perfect, thank you.
So we had a 10-hour and a 9-hour fountain. We were almost 3 weeks pause rather than 2 weeks pause between fountains. So we don't know, it's TBD because we don't know when episode 34 is. They're predicting it this one 43 happened on March 10th. 44 is expected to happen somewhere between late March and early April. And I appreciate the hesitation, because in these DI stuff where it's doing this sort of warbling here, although it's not warbling as much at the beginning, that suggests that the system may be changing, and this may be because the episodic plumbing system is reaching the state where it started, as it is. But again, we had some pretty tall fountains there. I mentioned earthquakes. The last 7 days, we have some of the summit. We have some to the upwelling here. In terms of what it looks like now, when I did earlier today, it was raining. It's Hawaii after all. And it's raining, still raining. So here's comet 2, and it's probably still cloudy. Oh, you could see a little bit of glowy bits there. There's a little bit of glow.
Can't see anything, Landon. It's gray.
Yeah, it's pretty gray. It is raining.
Huh?
There
that is what it looks like right now, Maanyaa. That's the camera. It's live.
Oh, okay. My bad.
You can tell there's a little bit of red bits here, but not much.
Yeah, there's a glow, but yeah. Oh my god.
Yeah, and this is what it looks like. Again, it's Hawaii. It's tropical. This is a little farther back, and the things there. So yeah, so it's what it is. Let's look at a lot of pictures. So episode 42 had a really spectacular
wow.
pair of fountains, and it had lots of ash. The wind was blowing lots of ash from that area. We had again, because it's so high. These are at 400 meters or so. I think actually. When I was measuring it, I was measuring the distance at around 420 meters. And for those that are metrically challenged, that's around 1,350 feet, 1,370 feet. That's a lot. And the volume is around 500 to 600 cubic meters a second. So that's a lot of liquid rock being ejected up quite high, and so it cools. And as it cools, it hardens, and you get all this ash and dust coming off of it. In terms of the effects on the weather, this is for Maanyaa. I think she would appreciate the effect of the volcano is down here, and all of this upwelling creates this sort of condensation gas clouds. It's a really
some
nice,
pretty cool looking clouds.
Yeah.
Nice.
But again, big, tall fountain from 42. This was, I thought, was a really nice picture. It took, because I asked about getting what it looks like on the bottom. So you can see these lava blobs have cooled. They're not cold. These are pretty hot, but they're in a condition where they've crusted over. And
that's
so
what it looks like when you burn leaves in autumn.
Yes. And this is a lot of material.
Particularly on a windy day.
These are pretty straight fountains, aren't they?
Yes. They're pretty vertical. Yes. So now they
Landon,
can get some twists.
Do you mind passing me a couple of those photos? I'll drop them on the community tab for people to look at in high res.
Excellent. I will do that. Yes, I will. Yeah. I will drop those in there. Of course, between fountains, the staff goes out and takes samples. We want to see, because there's still trapped gases in this foamy bits. It's a pumice foam stuff. We want to see if there's any change in the material. Of course, they're doing down here in the pit. They're of course are having appropriate gas masks and safety gear and so forth. Their safety is important.
Good. Good.
This is a case. This is what the camera looks like. This is actually V3, the new V3 camera. It's not erupting, so she doesn't need a gas. But this is what our
it's okay, Landon. I won't eat you for that.
Yeah, this is just afterwards there. And again, you can see here that in episode 43, this was the beginning of episode 43, as seen from the back.
Yeah. So both the vents were going off for both the episodes?
Yes, both vents are going for both episodes. So this is back sides, but you're only seeing the tippy top of the fountain, but you also do see bits of material that are flying around. Again, we're looking from downwind, and lots of the ash that's cooling from the very tall fountains.
So if the if the fountains are like growing straight, because last time, like when we saw I think so, we were waiting for like Madam Pele to start, erupting again, right?
Yes.
And there was the fountains are not the fountains, the vents. Sorry, the vents, the two vents. They are like they're on a slope, aren't they?
Yes, they're elevated. You can see the slope here.
Yeah.
You can see the slope right here.
So when the fountains go straight up, right, does it mean that there's a lot of pressure behind, or that the vent is too narrow? Have we been able to figure
I think
that
both.
out?
I think both. And it kind of depends upon that foam bladder that's been compressed.
Yeah.
So that's adding to it. And so you get a lot more gas coming out at the beginning with the fountain, and then so you get more gassy material coming out, and then once the gas, that foam bladder has sort of depleted, then you get the more straight magma, and that's when you get the taller fountains. So it sort of blows a lot of gaseous air with a little bit of material first, and then once we think that foam bladder has kind of exhausted a bunch of its stuff, you get more straight magma out. Now, there can be constrictions at the very top that could send it to the side. Remember V3, this camera or its predecessor was hit by a fountain going to the side. So it depends on how high and where the wind is blowing. Plus, you can get to the very top a little bit of a bladder push to send it off to the side. But mostly it goes straight up. We did have one of the fountains, one of the cameras, I think it was V1, that got hit by a larger ember, and it kind of tilted down, and we're looking at the ground there. I'll show you next time. I didn't have a chance to get that movie, but the next time you'll see, basically it's pointing at the ground. You can see the little embers hitting the ground in chunks. Again, the top of it. This is early on in 43. As it gets higher up, you get a lot of cooling of the fountain on top. Allows the wind to blow it off to the side. Down below, of course, there's lots of material. I mean, this is worth around 600 cubic meters. That's 600 washing machines per second.
That's a lot of lava.
That's
a lot. 600 washing machines is a lot of lava per second. Per second. So it is just.
Excuse me.
Yes. It is a lot of material that comes out. To some extent, again, even though the average rate is around 6 to 6.5 meters per second, that's over the entire episode. It comes out in a 12-hour to 9-hour push, which is why it goes up so high. Here's another thing showing again the significant volume of material and flowing. Again, you're right, Maanyaa. It's because of all this fountain, it's sort of built up a little plateau towards the edge of the caldera, flowing down into the pit. It's quite gorgeous, particularly as it starts getting towards the evening. You can see here's towards the end. So the episode 43 is pretty much done. There's not much fountain going on, but you can see the material that's moved some 2 kilometers and has filled a lot of that lower level pit. Again, it's just gorgeous, the material. Here are the source of the 2 vents and all this material that's flowed out from that stuff in this lower chamber. There still is a little bit of room to reach the crater floor, but it's pretty much it's gone a long ways towards filling up the crater. Now, when the winds are right and it blows material, usually the trade winds send the winds to the south-southwest. But when there's storm systems, like there's a storm that hit the Big Island, it'll change direction. In this case, this is the observation site that is an overlook. Holly Maanyaa pit is right over here. This is a really nice spot to go and watch the thing, except of course when the embers are falling, and you can see it does a pretty
Madam
big
Pele is
dusting.
like, move along. Move
This
along,
tephra
children. This is
comes
my
in there.
spot now.
And, you know, cars get a little dusting of stuff. Some of these chunks are bigger than others. It is what it is. This is the road coming out of the national park. We just turned onto the highway, heading down towards Hilo, and you can see again, they have to sort of rock plow, not a snow plow, but a rock plow. And they're in Hawaii. And of course, when rains come, it does begin to wash the things out. But you can see that it takes a little bit more than just water to wash some of that stuff off. Even in Hilo, right? This is the city much farther away, on the biggest city on the Big Island, on the east side, and you can see essentially these embers of dust, you know, hitting. This is the deck floor here.
Wow.
And you can see also in Hilo, the ashfall is much finer. So when you saw it, this was at the national park. This is out at Hilo, much finer material. And this is what the ash sort of looks like. These silicate particulates. And it's just like 1 millimeter here on top. So that is the report. I'll untoggle there. And are there questions from the chat before we get to our predictions? Questions from the hosts? Other questions? Maanyaa had some great questions. Any more great questions?
Not at the moment. Something might. I'm just absorbing and processing everything right now, and something might pop up when you're mid sentence, and I will be like, "Oh, by the way," and then you go on a tangent.
Yes.
And Tesh is like, "Really? We were supposed to stop."
I would like to remind everybody to utilize the Debate Hub official community, Debate Hub at Debate Hub official/community. If you want us to discuss stuff on the debate pub, if you have any local news or news going on around you that you want us to take a look at, you can drop a link in there and send us it and what you want us to talk about, and that way we can engage you guys a little bit more, and we can talk about the news that you want us to talk about. So if you have something you want us to, it doesn't have to be local to you, it's just cool if it is. Also, for debates that are happening, the debate question is getting posted, and who you think will win the debate is also posted, so you can vote, and you can also let us know. Those are going to be used during the debate show. The next one happening is not this Saturday, it is next Saturday with Dapper and FTFE, and I just wanted to let you guys know, so you can vote, and you can put forward what your thoughts are about the debate question itself. At the beginning of the debate, I'm going to go over what the vote was going into it, and I'm going to allow you guys to vote partway through the debate. I'll put a poll up, if I can, that you guys will be able to vote on to see if anybody's changed their mind, and you can let us know. I'm also going to be grabbing some of the questions or some of the points that have been made, and I'll be posing them to the participants if those things don't come up during the debate itself. So make sure if you want to participate or you have some things you want to say, make sure it gets in there.
Yeah. So any questions from the comments from the chat? There's a couple we probably want to look at.
How do they estimate the discharge rate of lava? Asked Travis. Let me
Well, one of the things that they make use of the continuous camera angles, and they do estimates during the fountains. They can see both day and night. They know the distance, and they know sort of the scale of things. So they can basically have people and interns who will basically take a camera picture and go dot 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 and measure the thing. They also kind of know from experience. Yes.
Geometry.
Yes.
Yeah. You want to hear my low sick voice? Geometry.
Ooh. So someone mentioned they looked up that the rate is about 10 times the rate of the TIMS. river that discharges water, and that's true. It is. I mean, it is a enormous flow coming out. Although I will point out, in the case of the Thames, it has less Tory sewage being pumped into this lava fountain than the Thames sewage rate, because of their water systems, is much higher than that of Madam Pele's. Just pointing that out.
The pub is leaking.
Yes, so the estimation, and so the other thing that they also do is correlate it with the amount of how fast the flow is coming into the caldera. So there's a number of factors that they can estimate for the rates. But it's a good question. That's one of the things. That's one of the big questions that they do.
Travis follows up and says, "Oh, good. I thought they had interns out there with beakers catching lava samples."
No, and there are also geologists that do that too, right? The Hawaii Volcano Observatory has very close association with the university. There, so students have lots of field work and experiences working with the geologists there. It is a very dynamic place and a special spot, and there are quite a number of Hawaiians. They even will get involved with high schools as well. So
another quick follow up that says the lava
yes.
certainly smells better than the river.
Yes, and if you've ever experienced sort of your typical hot springs or like Yellowstone or some of those sort of stuff, we get that rotten egg smell. The magma is relatively low sulfur compared with the cottonwood stuff, and so it isn't as stinky. It's relatively. I mean, it has gases, but it's not as stinky as
Orange.
And certainly not as stinky as sewage.
Orange Dot asks, sorry if this is a dumb question. This is Debate Hub. You're fine. There are the dumber the question, the better.
Yes.
How long do the outbursts last?
These particular
that's a good question.
Eruptive events last for a number of hours, and if I look at the data here, let's see, that like these last ones lasted for about 9 hours. I'm looking for the eruption information here.
It varies as well, so sometimes they'll last longer than others.
So let me give you the duration of since episode 35, 7 hours, 5 hours, 9 hours, 12 hours, 6 hours, 10 hours, 8 hours, 10 hours, 9 hours. So that's kind of the set, but
hours or something.
Yeah, in terms of volume, in terms of million cubic meters, right, of eruptive stuff. We had the last three were 10.6 million cubic meters, 11.6 cubic meters million, and 11.9, 10.6, 11.6, and 11.9 million cubic meters. They started off being 1, Z2, Z3, Z4, Z5s. So the volume of these latter episodes is more. It's taking longer to go between episodes. It used to be 8 days, 10 days, then came 14 days, and now it's coming almost 3 weeks. But the volume is also increasing. So the overall rate, averaged over a month or so, is about the same. The lower
Which
level,
is really
6 to 7
interesting.
kilometer deep magma chamber is decreasing, is deflating, and the upper magma chamber is slowly inflating. But again, it's moving towards the state where it had its first episode in December 23. That first episode, by the way, that fountain was only 185 meters tall and lasted for 14 hours. And then had fountains of like 95 and 86 meters. Relative, no, that's like 150 meters is no sweat, nor is 100 meters. but it's nowhere near the heights there. So it seems like as we reach back to the original conditions that started these episodes a while back, our fountains are getting taller, more voluminous, and longer, taking longer to
It's
to
interesting how consistent that is, though. That it's like pretty consistent
Yes.
once it's going.
Yes, but the upwelling from the mantle, the hotspot, around 3 cubic meters per second. That's an average that's lasted over a couple of centuries, and we have no evidence that the deep hotspot upwelling is any faster or slower. This is why we think this 6 to 6.5 meters per second average coming out is not sustainable. It's going to stop at some time, but we don't know, right? These are all sort of speculations. Like, it can't go on forever, can it? But don't count out. Don't say, oh well, surely the eruptions stopped now, right? So we're going to get to the what are your predictions for the next,
what were our predictions last time? And if you have predictions that you want to give, don't worry about being wrong. We're wrong all the time. In fact, if you are correct, you're the odd one out. So take your best guess at what you think. Which is now, since you've watched this show, it is now an educated guess. Take your best educated guess about what you think is going to happen, and make sure you tag me, tag at Debate Hub, so I make sure I don't miss any.
Yeah, and this is why we do these guesses in part to show that we don't know, right? So
the guesses are to demonstrate that it doesn't matter how much you know about a volcano. The volcano is going to tell you to go fuck yourself.
Madam Pele is gonna be like, "That's so sweet of you, honey." All right, so predictions. Landon's prediction was we will have DI events. Episode 42 will occur after the show. Fountain not as high as 41. And the volcano will enter more DI cycles. We might get another one eruptive episode event before the next show. So you said one, right?
Oh, yeah. Well, I said we might get it. I said we had two. One just afterwards. And by the way, the fountain occurred on February 15th. Our previous show was February 13th. So that was spot on. 13th or 14th. And you get one more. So that would be 43. Yeah. That occurred on March 10th, just 3 days ago.
Yeah.
So
that was quite accurate.
And as far as height goes, so 41 was 450 meters. 42 is around 400. 43 is almost 400. So I was also right that not as high as 41, but
by 50 meters. Yeah. Yeah, 50 meters is not a lot, in my opinion. I would say it's in the same category of high fountains, but okay, I'll let you have that victory.
Yeah.
So Chesh had said it's going to. Yeah, go on.
No, what other predictions? Yeah, please continue.
Yeah. Chesh said it's going to start settling down. 42 event will finish. We won't see another event by next time. This event will have one big fountain and then gurgle out.
Well, there's a lot that was right about Chesh's prediction, right? Now, it's true that 43 occurred 3 days before, not after today's show. And it occurred that we had a big fountain. 400 meters is big, I would say. It just, you missed on the.
She said gurgle out.
Gurgle out. Well, I mean,
it's starting to gurgle out now, as opposed to.
Yeah. I think she had some.
It appears to be going on the downturn, but I will agree that is not enough for this show to have made it within this month. That's fair.
Yeah.
So we had low energy vids, and they had said the volcano is. I can't read my own handwriting now. The volcano is something something and will erupt in 5 years and sink half of the island into the ocean, causing a massive wave that will hit the east coast, Canary Islands. So that was low energy vids. And then Athens had said none of the volcanoes matter if they blow or not. Dow is over 50,000. Volcano will continue what it's filling and stay same with its outflow. I had said we are going to see 2 or 3 episodes, so that was wrong. We only saw 2 before the next show. Only one if
we said 2 or you said 2 or 3, and we had 2. So
yeah, and only one if we see further disruption. Yeah, only one if we see further disruptions in the DI events. So I was half right, I guess. Not even half, 1/3 right. Not, or you can say I was not right.
I had some fair points there. So both you and Chesh had fair points on your prediction.
We got a grasp of some of it, yeah. So
yes. Speak for yourself.
Sapphire.
I was correct by accident. Pure happenstance.
Okay. Sapphire had said Madam Pele will be what have I done with my handwriting? Seriously. Will be something this time next month. I don't know what it was. I don't know what I've done with my handwriting last time. I don't know what the hell was I doing. Standing? Sapphire, are you there? Can you help me? She's not there. They're not there.
I don't think Sapphire's in the chat today.
No. But yeah, they said something, they will be doing something. Standing this time next week? I don't know. I don't know. I'm sorry. I failed. I failed as the curator. I'm so sorry. Just total fail.
They had an interesting prediction. So we can honor that at least.
Wow, these DEI women hires are being coddled.
Bitch, it's my show.
Yes.
Oh god. Sapphire is currently fused with Ruby to form Garnet. They usually stay fused unless they are fighting.
Yes.
All right.
So predictions.
Landon, do you want
to wait. Speak of the devil, and Sapphire will arrive. He said, I'm here, but I have no clue what I said.
Oh, dang it.
That's why we write it down.
Interesting. So this time,
I'll write it down.
Is more attentive. So folks in the chat, get your predictions there, please. So let's. I'll start off with my prediction. That so our next show is on April 10th. Is that correct?
April. Yes, it should be April 10th. Yes.
So I predict that episode 44 will occur before our next show. That is one. What do you have? One fountain. That fountain will probably be on the order of 400 meters, maybe a little bit less, maybe a little more, but around that sort of thing. And that it'll be a nice photographic fountain. But we'll only have one. It's actually possible that it on the outside edge, it could actually occur during the show, but likely it's going to be slightly before the show. We'll see. It'd be nice if it was erupting during the show because we get to see live pictures. Unless, of course, if it was erupting now, we'd see live pictures of clouds. But it'll do what it does. So my prediction is episode 44, only one fountain. It'll occur before the show. Could be up to. It could be up to 2 weeks before the show, but during that period of time. it'll be around the similar height as 42, 41, around 400 meters, and look pretty.
Okay. Chesh?
I think that we will not see an eruption this month. I think it's going to continue outgassing. I think it's going to continue being all rumbly, but I do not think we will see a fountain.
Very interesting.
Did you
So we'll see an eruption,
on...
but it won't be a fountain. It'll just sort of warble out.
Yeah, I use the word eruption too loosely there. I don't think we'll see a fountain. I think we'll still see some of what we saw initially before it started fountaining so much, where it was coming out and flowing. I think we'll see that.
Yeah. Yeah, and buddy, eruptions when you get lava on the surface. So that's definitely an eruption. It's not. These fountains are really spectacular eruptions, and as you say, pre-fountain you do where it's near the surface that it
just
breaching
slightly.
Yeah, and so you're saying
we'll see a
it'll
river
erupt,
of
and that's the only thing it will do is basically burble. It won't really fountain that.
It's not going to. Yeah, the pressure
if it does at all.
There. Yeah.
Do you think it's possible that it won't erupt at all before the next show?
I don't think so, because that's not the way I understand pressure to usually work, and because it's all melted right now and open, it's not going to build up to pop. So all the pressure that's the way my brain is sort of understanding this a little bit. So unless it like super cools for some reason, I don't see that being the case, or like something collapses in to maybe close it off. But I don't see that happening. It's too open right now, in my opinion, with the caldera being the way it is.
Okay. Yep. That's certainly possible.
I have reasons for thinking the way I do. I'm just an idiot.
Oh, you're a goblin. That's different.
See? You get it.
Goblins are not idiots. They have their own way of thinking.
And that makes them idiots. Go on, Maanyaa. What's your prediction?
My prediction is that we will see the fountain similar to episode 43. And it will be high, and like Landon said, around 400 meters. Will last a few hours, and it will start like the same thing it started before. Like it will be dribbly and stuff in the beginning, and then the vents will shoot up, both the vents. So yeah,
I perfectly agree.
Yeah, so one like lava fountain from both vents, like and we'll start with the dribbling.
Yep.
Yeah. And I will say similar to episode 43. Well, yeah.
Predictions from the chat. Let me just pull those up here real quick. We've got, I just want to, oh, that's the wrong, is that the right button? That might have been, nope, that was the wrong button. Oops. Where am I going? This way. Okay, Travis has a prediction that says a ring of fire volcano in the northern hemisphere will stop or greatly slow, and a new one will start in the southwest Pacific, is their prediction.
I think that's a pretty sound. Yeah, anything along that ring of fire zone will stop, and that's our greatest zone, and that's pretty likely. And then we'll start in the southwest Pacific. Southwest Pacific. So
got it.
That could be like Philippines or Indonesia or so forth. So yeah, that's probably, I would say that's a pretty good chance of that.
I like that. We also have a prediction from Athens, who's being a coward right now, saying, I predict a volcano somewhere will go boom. I am sick and I'm still coming up with a proper fucking prediction.
We'll go boom. Okay. So we will. I'll look to see whether or not we have any explosive eruptions.
Yeah, that's what we're gonna have to look at.
Not because fountains aren't boom. We're gonna want a bang thing. So
I
VEI
think
3 or 4 type of container plus. So we'll see. We'll see. We'll be able to test that.
Shano, I think this is a prediction, but I'm not 100% sure, so I'm going to read it out, and then we can talk about that. The proposed Trump Tower on the Australian Gold Coast will be very powerful, 400-meter plus tall in planning. Now, I think they're using the term planning a little bit too loosely there. It's doing some lifting. But you go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. Go.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say that it might be interesting to introduce predictions into Debate Pub.
Yeah. Yes, it is. I would say, given Australia, Gold Coast, and Queensland, the proposed tower planning probably has to do with historical Queensland planning, which, as Radha will say, usually involves exchange of money.
They also added that in reality, it will be very underwhelming and wider than it is high. Which makes me think that you may be describing a certain chody toady. If I
but yes. Volcanic. Any other volcanic predictions?
I'm double checking.
Has Smitty given a thing? Because Smitty has been giving comments, but has Smitty made a prediction?
I did see Orange Dot say that flow and pressure are different things. So it makes me think that they might have a prediction that they haven't gotten in yet. So, or I missed it. So please make sure you at Debate Hub official so I don't miss it. If you did make a prediction, just in case. I'm a little slow right now on the uptake, so I apologize for that. There's Shano said there is one caveat that that is if Trump can get it erected.
But we're talking about Madam Pele thing, so
yeah. So if you have about this particular volcano, I'll give you guys like one
focus,
more minute.
guys, focus.
The pub is for the pub. The pub is for the pub. Yeah. Not next Saturday. That's not tomorrow. Tomorrow, by the way.
Yeah. So I'm gonna say I'm having a nice drink here with my Madam Pele mug. It has ash from various erupted bits there. So
tomorrow, by the way, is going to be the philosophy show that we missed last week and rum and coke night. So if you're interested in those, that is tomorrow. And then the following Saturday is debate, and then on following Saturday is the pub. So if you're interested in talking politics, bring it over there.
I think we had a good pub last time. I'm looking forward to it this time because stuff might have happened.
There might be some updates.
If we're at the point of talking about what's new and exciting besides the volcano show, it's going to be on April 10th, and the pub, which is on March. It's March 27th? No, 28th. March 28th.
Yes. Yep.
DP. On there. The International Obfuscated Sequel Contest, the 29th submission deadline closed earlier today.
Nice.
And so we are collecting the submissions, and the judges, of which I'm one of them, will be judging these. And so we're going to go into kind of this sequence of going. I will be there for the debate pub show because it's a fun thing to do. But we will be judging lots of crazy code. How long it's going to take to judge depends upon the quantity and quality. Right now, we've just collected the files. We'll be going through and seeing something. So it's possible that the show to reveal the winners will happen before the next volcano show, or not. It kind of depends upon how long it takes for us to go through things. So stay tuned.
Maanyaa, you tagged the wrong person to ask about cooking. I think.
Did I?
Yeah, Orange Dot was the one cooking, not Shano. You tagged Shano. All right.
Oh, okay. Sorry,
yeah, that's all of our predictions. So make sure you got everything written down. Is it legible, Maanyaa? Can you read it?
And Maanyaa, we do appreciate you recording these. That's an important part, as well as your excellent questions.
I'll try
She
to
can
make sure
she can read it right now, but she might not be able to read it a month from now.
Next time I'm just like, huh? They're like
Well,
ants on the page.
I'll feed some of the images to you, Chesh. After I go, I need because I'm also quite tired, having been up watching the server.
Yeah,
make
no,
sure
well,
that
we're definitely
they
like
got all the data.
we're only like 15 minutes over time, which is pretty good for us trying to do this within an hour. But you also gave us a whole rundown about like what like a bigger expectation.
Yeah, I felt that folks needed to have some background on what happens, but take all that with a grain of salt. That's the current estimates of what's happening. And there's a lot of weasel words there because we're still studying, we're still learning, and that's part of science. Is you don't know and you're excited about learning. So yay!
I'm gonna show that on screen real quick and be like, "Nah, she tagged Shano."
And I'm going to use the Instapot to make some potato soup.
Oh, I was eating potato soup the other day, and I wish I had more.
We did some.
Oh, he's gonna go get it.
Oh. Yes.
Of course he's gonna go get it.
Of course he's gonna go get it. Maanyaa, you're coming to rum and coke.
I like rather than potato chips. Look at this.
Oh, the popper. Yes. Oh my God, so many.
Yes,
those little bubbles.
Really oh, the crunch.
They're wonderful. Much better than potato chips. And they're yummy. And of course,
yes, they are.
But it is what it is, and yes. So enjoy. I actually make it in my not a kitchen. There's another person who makes it. And I help them, and they get the whole pile. So
nice.
Yes. Good stuff. So folks, just keep an eye out for volcanic news and enjoy things. And thank you again, Chesh, for hosting this, even though you are not firing on all goblin cylinders.
Oh my God.
And Maanyaa, thank you for your excellent questions and recording the predictions.
Thank you so much for coming, everybody. I hope you enjoyed it. Make sure to check out the backlog if you're interested and want to learn a little bit more about volcanoes, specifically Madam Pele as our good example.
Yeah. And check out the lava light lamps there. Yes.
Yeah, very lovely.
Oh, nice, beautiful.
Thank you,
beautiful.
All right.
So much for joining us.
And that's a photo of a Hawaiian of Kilauea Eruption.
Don't forget to check out the community. Don't forget to check out the community tab, which you can make posts on, just so you guys know. You don't have to just react to my posts. Yes. You can do posts on your own. And we're going to get on out of here. We'll see you tomorrow. Like, share, subscribe, and hey, share. Definitely share. Leave us a comment. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Cheers.